Please start your video. Please start video.
Welcome to our annual Maria Cannon Zen Center New Year's Zazen. This has become a tradition now for a good number of years. And so it was Helen's initiative that invited people who could make it on New Year's Day to sit together in the afternoon, together in our Zendo. Remind me, Helen, when was the first time you began this?
I think ever since we started sitting at the Grace United Methodist Church, Grace now, White Rock United Methodist Church.
Okay, so it's been several years now. And what has happened is there will be from anywhere between 5 to 8 people sitting together. And at that point, then the main event of the New Year's sit would be to make 108 prostrations. That was the aspiration at that time. And so, but again, because of the physical conditions of those who were sitting, those who could not make 108 were invited to just stand, just make a bow for the time that those who could or felt called to make it were able to do so with a full prostration. In Buddhist cultures, the number 108 stands for the 108 delusive passions. And in Japan, on the evening of the last day of the year, before midnight, they strike the bell in temples 108 times, slowly. So it would take perhaps up to an hour. Slowly, bong, bong. And striking the bell signifies that we are trying to strike off, to shed off, to overcome those delusive passions that prevent us from seeing our true self, that prevent us from awakening. And so 108 is the number that is understood to contain those. So whether we take them in a real way or in a symbolic way, it's our act of purifying ourselves. That is from a Buddhist context. Now, with that in mind, what I would like to offer in this short exhortation in the new year, as I wish everyone an auspicious new year, is precisely that we may all come to an awakening to our true self. And that true self is no other than a realization of our deep kinship, our deep bonding with one another and with everything and everyone in the whole universe. But because of our way of being born as a human being, being born out of a womb, and then we feel insecure and so on, and then our whole life spent in trying to get ourselves together in what psychologists would call a process of individuation. And so we live our human lives centered on this I, me, mine that needs to be bolstered, that needs to find its way, and that needs to realize what its point in having been born was. So a basic question of our life is, why was I born? What's the point of it all? What's the meaning of my life? Knowing that there will be an end to it with my death. So with that big question, individuals who realize that fact of our mortality are at some point led to a kind of search. And that is what Shakyamuni Buddha also took on in his life. And somehow at some point, he realized something important in a way that gave him peace and inner joy and enabled his heart to be open in compassion. And the way he lived his life inspired so many that they also sought a way of living like him. And so he taught them how people who wish to also be awakened to do so. And the two words that he gave them in his directives towards awakening are shamatha, to let your mind still, and vipassana, allow the eyes of your heart to see through things so that you can really see what is. And what is, in the way he expounded it, is a way of pointing out the fact that what is deeply interconnected with everything that is. So to realize who we are is to realize our deep kinship with everyone and everything in the whole universe. And realizing that moves us to live no longer for my own little sake, but in a way that I can be of help in helping others find themselves, first of all, and in helping one another to really go on in this life so that we are taken care of with our basic needs, and we are taken care of, and we are able to live in a way that cares for one another. So our little Sangha is a small circle of those who have found that spark of seeking to awaken to themselves and seeking to realize that we are all deeply interconnected. And in doing so, we live a life no longer for our own sake, but a life that is now a gift back to the world. And that's the invitation to each and every one of us here as we take on the life tasks of the new year, to live in a way that is consonant with that true self of ours as interconnected with all. To live no longer just for my own little sake, but to live in a way that all that I have and all that I am can be given as a gift to the world. And so the struggle of the 108 delusive passions that we symbolize in these acts of bowing down are our ways of removing the obstacles to that realization of our kinship with one another. And in realizing that kinship, we realize that it is the greatest joy and the greatest fulfillment in a human being to be able to live in a way that can be of help in the way that others can also realize themselves, and also to be of help in what others may be needing. So to live a life that is open to serving others is the way we can find our own joy and our own fulfillment. And that is what we can describe as an awakened life. So now I would like to invite us all to take a posture that will enable us to bow. If you would like to just stay where you are and just join by bowing in front of your computer or your device 108 times with each bell, you may do so. Or if you wish to stand up somewhere in your room and bow just standing up like this in your room, or wish to take the full course of bowing with your full body on the ground, as we do in the prostrations in the Zendo, then you do so. And if I will, and if you feel that even if you try to do so in the beginning, and then you feel that now your body cannot take the whole 108 yards, so to speak, then you may just join by continuing standing up and bowing slightly where you are with each bell. And then if you feel drawn again, or if you feel encouraged to try again, do so at any point. I do not know how long it will take, but it may take about 15, 20 minutes. So please join us in this ritual of purification through bowing deeply 108 times. And after that, then we will have a little sharing for those who wish to stay. And I invite you to stay and give us an update on how you are for the new year. Ellen will now ring the bell, and will with each bell, we will bow.
Come here. Go to the side.
Just a quick instruction. So I will ring the bell once and then we bow. So if you wish to do the full prostration, then you bow all the way to the floor with your arms reaching the ears, and then I will ring the bell again, and then we stand up. Okay, then another bell, bow on the floor, or if you just bow and then I'll ring the bell again. So actually for each bow, we have two bells. Okay, Brock, are you there? Brock, okay, because if you can face the camera, then at least we will see you. All right. Elijah, are you there? Or maybe she doesn't want to show herself. Okay. I'll just do a series of bells, and then I'll do a big one.
Thank you, everyone, for hanging in there and joining us in the actual bodily or at least spiritual act of prostrating, emptying ourselves, and letting our delusive attachments be struck out of our lives. And if you would like to know what those 108 are, you can go on Google and put 108 delusive passions in Buddhism, and you will get an inventory of all of them. So you will know which ones you've already taken care of. And when it comes back, you can say, oh, but I've already wiped that away. Why is it coming back? So you just make another bow to yourself and then allow it to just flow out. So thank you again, and thank Helen for initiating this and for conducting it. I would now like to open the floor for a New Year greeting or a sharing or anything you'd like to say to the rest of us within a minute or less if possible, so we can just hear from everyone who would like to say something. And if you don't have anything to say or you would prefer not to, you may just bow to us like this and greet us an auspicious New Year with your bow. But if you'd like to say something within a minute or so, please do so. And Helen will give us the procedure. Yes, Helen.
Yeah, this experience of doing the prostrations was indeed very humbling. That's all I could say. Very, very humbling. And wishing everybody really blessed New Year. It's been a very difficult year, but somebody said we're not just moving on, we have to keep moving forward and just be there wherever we are. So thank you.
Those who wish to speak may just raise your hand and Helen will acknowledge you, and then you may unmute yourself.
Maria.
So thank you, everyone. And I'm really glad we had this occasion of bowing together. I did it once many years ago like this in a Korean temple. We were there with my Chinese teacher and a group of nuns, and it was close to the Chinese New Year. So all the monks and nuns in the monastery and everybody was bowing, and at the end then it started snowing, and it was really a magical situation. So at that time I felt that probably all these 108 illusions had been dispelled because I was so happy and so enthralled just by the beauty of it all. But I can't honestly say that it's the same feeling today, and that has to be okay. Because I rather felt sad over these holidays because I couldn't be with my family as usual. And so I think if we don't acknowledge that kind of sadness, then maybe there would be some kind of bypassing if we say, I do the bowing and the sadness is an attachment and I have to get over it. So as Helen said, be where you are and be okay with that.
Yes, Maxine.
So grateful. Thank you, Helen. It's great to be in California for this. I too felt humbled. At one point I went, oh, this is too hard. And I just wanted to go and give up, which is like what I do. Like, I can't give up these illusions, like, can't I just keep one? But then it got, it as anything in this practice, it just goes. I got one with it. It's so lovely to see all your faces. I just emceed something prior to this. I have been on this computer all day. I am going to say Happy New Year and say goodbye because I need to get out and see some sun before the day is done. Oh, that rhymed. Wasn't that cute? All right. I mean it though. Bye. Thank you.
Yes, Jane.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you so much to all of you. You have been with me all of this year. It just seems so appropriate to start this next year with you also. And thank you for this opportunity. I just kept thinking about those delusions. Some of them I'm very attached to. We'll see what they do now. But I felt the power of being with all of you, and I'm so grateful for that. Thank you, and for Helen for leading it.
Yes, Nan.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to say thank you. When I first heard of 108 vows, I was thinking, oh my, that's a lot of bowing. So what I did was I just focused on one vow at a time. And so that was really helpful just to do that. And then to see the whole community bowing with me, that was also a very wonderful experience. So thank you.
Yes, Jenny. Unmute first, sorry.
I said, I admit I'm out of shape. I need to do better with my bowing. With a smile. So Happy New Year with a smile.
Yes, hey. Hey, unmute first. Unmute.
Happy New Year to you all. I'm very happy to see you, but hopefully we get to be present to each other in near future. Thank you all.
Yes, Barb.
I want to wish everyone a happy new year, and I'm so grateful to start it with you all here with no delusions. At least 108 of them gone. So thank you.
Yes, Elijah.
I just wanted to thank everyone. This is my first time, I think, to sit with the saga on New Year's because I usually have a date to go eat sushi with a very old friend. But because of pandemic, instead of eating sushi, we just spoke on the phone earlier. And so I opened my afternoon to spend with you all. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity to have done the prostrations for the first time. And I apologize for having my video off. I turned it off, and then once Helen asked me, I was already on the other side of the room, so I didn't have time. But I did enjoy being with you all on video. Thank you.
So maybe just conclude with a chant of the verse of purification, the four vows, and shalom, wishing everyone an auspicious and blessed new year and blessed and auspicious life. Will you please lead us in the chanting, Helen?
I'm not very sure if that is the order, but I'll try my best. Hold on. The order, Ruben, is verse, Heart Sutra, and four vows.
No, really. Can we omit? Oh, okay. If not, if it comes in the order, then just go. Let's go for it. Verse of purification, Heart Sutra, and four vows, and then shalom.
Yeah, I'll add that again later. I don't have it in this playlist.
So let us conclude with that chanting. Wish everyone an auspicious time, and especially those who are suffering through this COVID, through all sorts of ways, like the threat of their lives, or those who have lost their lives, or who have lost their jobs, or those who are insecure and are fearing for themselves. Let us keep them in mind and in our heart, and breathe with them and breathe with all sentient beings as we chant.
The heart of the perfection of great wisdom sutra. Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, practicing deep prajna paramita, perceive the emptiness of all thy constituents and overcame all suffering. O Shariputra, for is no other than emptiness, emptiness no other than form. Form is precisely emptiness, emptiness precisely form. Sensation, thought, impulse, and consciousness are also like this. O Shariputra, all things are manifestations of emptiness, not born, not destroyed, not saved, not pure, no gain, no loss, a sin, emptiness. There is no form, no sensation, no thought, no impulse, nor consciousness, no idea, no strong body, mind, no color, sound, taste, touch, thing, no realm of sight, no realm of consciousness, no ignorance, no ending to ignorance, no old age and death, no ceasing of old age and death, no suffering, no cause of suffering, no ending to suffering, no path, no wisdom, and no gain, no gain, thus no bodhisattvas live this prajna paramita with no hindrance of mind, no hindrance, therefore no fear, far beyond all the illusion. Nirvana is already here, all past, present, and future Buddhas live this prajna paramita and attain supreme perfect enlightenment. Therefore, know that prajna paramita is the great mantra, the great right mantra, the supreme mantra, the unsurpassable mantra, by which all suffering is wiped away. This is the truth without deception. Therefore, set forth this prajna paramita mantra. Set forth this mantra and proclaim Gate, Gate, Paratate, Parasamgate, Bodhisattva, Prajna Paramita Sutra. The four vows of the Bodhisattva. Sentient beings are numberless. I vow to freedom. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. The dark gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. The enlightened way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Sentient beings are numberless. I vow to freedom. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. The dark gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. The enlightened way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Sentient beings are numberless. I vow to freedom. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. The dark gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. The enlightened way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. All Buddhas throughout space and time, all learned ones, bodhisattvas, mahasattvas, wisdom beyond wisdom, Maha Prajna Paramita.
Everybody, it's really going to take some time to load the shalom. So can you just do it solo? Because it's hard when we do it all together, if you don't mind.
Okay, so I shall chant shalom, salam, shalom, and so please join me behind your muted mics. Shalom is the aspiration for peace, which is in Hebrew as well as salam in Arabic. And that peace is what we are seeking when we realize that we are interconnected and we are kin with each and everyone, and that we are ready to live our lives as a gift, being grateful for the gift being received from everyone, and now giving our lives back as a gift to everyone. And with that, the word gratitude comes forth. And in our language in the Philippines, Tagalog, we say salamat to say thank you. So peace, which brings forth gratitude. So please join me in your own way. I will sing it twice. Shalom. Salam. Shalom. Shalom. Salam. Shalom. Salamat po.
I just wanted to acknowledge our very young guest for today. I think, Brian, can you introduce your daughter? Brian Dunn.
Yeah, this is, say hi, Eleanor.
Eleanor. And I'd like to welcome Brock Groom, who is here again he's not been here for quite a time. Brock, can you say a little something?
Hello. I don't have my Zoom game down very well. I can see that I'm the only one in the dark. I will do better from now on, but I'm very happy to be back, and thank you for welcoming me, Helen.
Yes. All right, just a few announcements. We will not be meeting tomorrow since I think the festivities will still be on. So our first meeting will be on Wednesday, 7:30 to 8:30. And then we will continue our sitting Wednesdays and Saturdays. So Saturdays will still be from 10 to 11:30. Thank you again for the past so many years that we've been doing this. There would be 4 or 5 of us, but now there's like 17 of us. So it was really nice. So thank you so much. Bye. Bye, Eleanor.